Trev.
How you doing, alright?
I'm alright, mate. How are you doing?
Yeah, not too bad.
Someone or nothing! On camera. Did you see that? We just got recognised and tooted on camera.
So what's happening, Nath?
I don't know, mate. I just grinning from ear to ear. That was brilliant. I love that. I mean, if you're watching this video and you were the ones that tooted, and you've just made my day. I mean, I'm horrendously horrified about camping out under a tarp in the rain tonight, but that's just made everything so much more pleasant, isn't it? I really enjoyed that.
And that's what's going to happen. It is going to chuck down with rain today from about 4 o'clock onwards. It's about 12 o'clock now. We're going to do a little walk and then try and find somewhere to camp, aren't we?
Yeah. Yeah.
So we're here at Dartmoor. We're going to go up Bellevator, Laughter Tor, and then go and try and find somewhere to camp near a woodland or in a woodland, sheltered a bit from the rain, we're hoping.
Yeah, there's no leaves on any trees yet, but the sticks might help.
So here we are anyway, Summit or Nothing. Trev, Dartmoor, come join us. So here we are, back on Dartmoor, going for another wild camp. The weather is going to be absolutely appalling. I'm in the dark meat area. Not been here before. It's an interesting little area. Lots of little stony walls here. So it'll be interesting to see what we see. Get away from this road. And then, guess what? It's the maiden voyage of my new Berghaus boots that I won from Country Walking magazine. So I've got them on.
Hello, sailor.
And I've got gaiters on as well after last time. It was absolutely horrendous, I was soaked. So yeah, I bought gaiters today.
When you look at the map, there's like a fork, and the more prominent track sort of heads to the right, which leads us over to Laughter Hole House and Laughter Hole Farm, which will take us around the east elevation of Laughter Tor, and there's a couple of standing stones and bits and bobs that we're going to go look at up there.
Cool. So Dartmoor is just a little bit further along the same road as Two Bridges, which incidentally is where we were this time last year. We come out on the Easter weekend. We come out on Good Friday last time. Today's Easter Sunday, so we're late out. I had to watch the kids do their Easter egg hunt and that. So we're just going to do not so much of a hike today, taking a few tours, a few sites, and then we're just going to set up tents and doing a bit of wild camping. It's good to have all this weight back on me, back again. How I've missed it.
Nothing to be afraid of. I'm a bit wary because they got their calves with them.
Yeah.
Maybe we should just go
around.
Can we do that?
Yeah. Lovely to see you.
Quite a hardy looking breed, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm just going to take a little bearing just to give us an indication of where the stone row is roughly. So stone row should be just over there. Distance wise, about 300 metres in that direction. Navigation made easy. Have you seen a stone row, have you, boy?
There's a stone there. Whether that's it. What do you mean?
Well, it's about the right distance from the wall. Looks like it would have been on the bearing I was marking out, and it looks like it's about 50 metres away from the track. So I reckon if we head up to that, I reckon we got a fair shout at seeing what us be looking for.
Hello, my friend. This is it. Dre.
And I gotta be honest, on a scale of 1 to 10, that's probably the mark I'd give it as far as sort of stone rows that we've seen goes.
3.
3.
1 for each stone.
Well, I don't want to be a stone row snob. Sort of the one we took in when we was walking around 2 bridges, the time we went up Great Miss, you know, right at the beginning of the walks, massive long stone row, really straight, and you could see all of it from sort of one standpoint. It was really quite impressive. That would have been, in my eyes, a 10. This, you know, there's a few stones placed roughly in a line in quite a brushy sort of area, no real significance. I'm gonna say a 3. What do you reckon? You reckon it's a 3? I reckon a 3's fair.
Well, onto the standing stone now, and then laughter tour.
You know how I love cutting across open terrain with no real defined path. Do you reckon we can make a cut through to that gateway up there, or do you reckon we need to go back the way we came? That face says it all. Let's go back the way we came.
Yeah, we got time. Buy stones. Got mud on my boots. Pack up. Turn around.
Cranberries.
Standing stone over here, look. I don't know what this one's called. It's a bit disorganised again. We just as well get the map out in front of us, close our eyes and just bring our finger down. Ping! There. So anyway, look, here it is. Let's get Nath beside it for a bit of scale.
This has got to be like an 8 on the standing stone scale, isn't it?
Yeah. I still think that devil's stone was the most impressive.
Yeah, I would have given it a 9.
That's huge, wasn't it?
You've got to bear in mind that, you know, a 10 is like Stonehenge, isn't it? So maybe 8's a bit generous for this. Maybe on that scale, maybe this should be more like a 5. It's no Easter Island head, is it? You enjoying the rating of these things?
Yeah, I'm liking it. Good feature.
Yeah.
Another animals pound here. Some farmland poundage. It's the old chimney, is it?
You've never would have a roof
there. I was teasing you, Nath. Not really a chimney. There's 3 or 4 people out today. No, it's a bit flat, isn't it, this one? Laughter tour. Don't know what's so funny about it. I think it's where the Druids used to use it as a stage to come and do their stand-up, practice their stand-up routines. Looks a bit like a stage. Tour where we're going to go next. There's more over there.
Yeah, so we go have a look at that as well.
Yeah. So we're just going to overlook going over this wall. That's some more of Laughter Tour.
How do, Bert?
All right, mate.
All right, mate.
Proper up here, isn't it?
Thanks a minute. Once again, Dartmoor has not failed us with the views. You know, we're looking around, we can see places we've been, places that seem familiar. The mast from Princetown, Great Miss, and the associated tours over at Tworbridge that we visited. That is definitely firm-worthy up over there on the crest, isn't it? That's that high point we visited, Pickering. Yeah. And but we're looking at it once again from an angle we've never seen it all. And it is breathtaking, you can see from miles up. Not even the clearest of days. It's a bit of a nip in the air. I was reading an article on Facebook where they reckon that the health benefits of hiking for helping with stress and depression and mental health problems, and they reckon that some doctors are even prescribing hiking. I feel better. You know, I don't really suffer from mental health problems, not that I'm aware of. Other people around me might feel differently, but it does help you feel better and happier and satisfied, like you've achieved something, you know?
Oh yes. Oh yes.
Yeah, this was Laughter Tour.
Laughter Tour.
Something or nothing. Something or nothing. Something or nothing from a moving car.
He loved that.
I did love it, yeah. Make my day.
Recognised.
Well, you know, you think there's 1,000 people watching us, you know, nearly 1,000 subscribers, and some of our videos have had way more views than that. And you think to yourself, are they just shy? Do they watch us just to laugh at us, but they wouldn't associate with us in public? I mean, there's people I know, I'll be like, oh yeah, I know them, but I wouldn't go and talk to them in public. So maybe we're like that.
We probably are. We go, something or nothing, something or nothing.
Yeah, they shout it to warn other people that we're there to avoid us. That's why we never see anyone on the moors. Mission accomplished.
Yeah. Okay, so we're leaving Laughter Tour now. We're going to follow this wall down into the forest, then up to Bellevator. Started spotting rain, so hopefully it won't rain too hard. It'd be nice to get up to that tour before the rain comes in.
So, we've reached a point on the map where I personally would like to cut through the woodland to the same track that's in a loop on the other side of these trees. We're here,
yeah,
right under the E circle, and we're going to cut through 150 metres to the same track. But it looks like there's a little track here anyway, but somewhere in there is a stream that we'll need crossing, and just the other side of it there's like the stone circle, so I'm kind of like quite excited to go through and have a look.
Let's off-road.
Let's off-road.
It's raining now. It's not looking very good. Once it starts raining, it's in. Till sort of tomorrow afternoon. So we're just going to camp overnight and then pack up, walk back in the rain to the car. I'm looking forward to packing up a tent in the rain. It's one of my favourite things. Isn't it you, Nath?
Yeah, love it. This is definitely a track, isn't it?
It looks like a track. Don't get pixie led. Do not get pixie led.
Oh, yeah.
Wet. Ah! I lost my boot. Well, good test of my gaiters that was. They worked.
You ready for this river crossing?
Oof. Made it. You right, Nath? You wouldn't lead us into shit terrain, would you? No ferns. I ain't seen any ferns here.
We can't go through that way.
So here we are again. Summit or nothing it all the way.
There would be no climate that's going to pass all the time. I might camp here.
All the moss is just hanging off all these trees. Weird.
Starting to think maps exist for a reason. Every time I decide to totally ignore what the map's telling us and make an impromptu decision about direction and, you know, a possible shortcut or an alternative route, we end up crawling through a bog, a fern forest, a woodland, hardly passable terrain. But would you believe it? Here we are, back in daylight, back on this track. Great, ain't I?
It's a track.
It's a track, son.
Right, now where are we going? This looks like it, doesn't it?
Hey?
This looks like it. Hut circle.
It'd be like a round flat depression in the middle.
Yeah. You gonna give it a rating?
It's going to be pretty low, isn't it? I mean, this is going to be in the 1 to 2 region, isn't it? A lot's happened here since this was originally a hut, and it is barely recognisable. There are far more impressive examples on Dartmoor alone, you know? Oh, fuck. I'm feeling generous. I'm having a good day. Someone shouted at us from a moving car. I'm going to give it a 2.5. So, what are these woods even called?
Oh no, I couldn't see it on the map. We're sort of to the left of Bolivator. Not the left, the east.
Either way, that would have been the right.
There's the hut circle, that's where we are.
Yeah.
There's Bolivator. Have you seen the Bolivator on it?
Bolivator, I don't know.
Hang on.
I'm looking forward to seeing this blue star-shaped thing on Bolivator.
I think it's a marquee or something.
Do you think there's a wedding?
Oh,
We're going to go and
shit.
catch a wedding.
Is there?
Well, fortunately, I did pack a shirt and bow tie, so...
George Post. What we found, Nath?
This green track here that
Yeah.
comes off to the left, there's a track going that way in a track, so there's a Y there.
Yeah.
So the track to the left that cuts through is just before a Y, and that's a distinct Y going low and high there. And here we have a set of stone steps. It's more than an assumption. Heads up to Bolivator. Let's go up, son, boy.
It's been an interesting little climb up this granite stairway.
Do we want to cut through here?
I don't know. Top of Belle of a tour, just in time for the rain. It's quite an impressive tour actually, Nath, isn't it? You can't see that marquee. Look, that's Laughter Tour. Can't even focus on it. The rain's coming in now. And the wind has picked up. It didn't meant to be windy. We don't want another wet and windy wild camp, do we, Nath?
So we got to get round this little bit of patch of woodland here, which is quite vague.
Yeah.
I think that's the settlement. If we come and park out here and camp out here near Cherry Brook, and that is going to be a great place. We've got shelter from the woodland,
Yeah.
and a stream for water. So that's where we're going to try and get. You happy with that?
Okay.
All right.
Here we go. Belle of a tour behind us. Was a Belle of a tour too. Reminds me a bit of a joke. What you get if you cross an elephant with a rhino? Hell if I know. You can have that one.
So this is set to be the second wild camp in the DD Hammock's Superlight 3x3 tarp. Now last time when we went out at Christmas, I had to set it up on sort of a weird ridge in the ground because there wasn't a lot of space. Hopefully, if we can find some flatter ground tonight, I should have a better appreciation of the space that's available. So hopefully, I'll get a better feel for the sort of ability to be able to sit up in it and sort of move around and do all I need to do, and maybe get my head a bit further away from the doorway tonight. And hopefully it won't be quite as windy either. If you've watched our wet and windy wild camp over winter, you will have seen that through the night the winds are up at sort of 40-50 mile an hour. Although we're forecast some heavy rain, hopefully we won't have the same issue with the hurricane force wind. I say hurricane, it's probably a bit of an exaggeration. But yeah, looking forward to seeing how the second night under the tarp goes. Eerie little passage, isn't it?
So now we're coming back down into another, it's unnamed again, isn't it?
What, the woodland?
Yeah.
It might be named, but it's on the edge of the map, so the name might be on the other side.
So into another forestry, another bit of woodland. Quite an interesting little path down here. Very beautiful. We're heading down here towards Cherry Brook, which we're hoping is going to be the sufficient place to camp for the night. Yeah, and then we're going to get our camp on. Got some Dartmoor legends for you. So I'll read you one or two of those. Dartmoor legends in a tent. Well, we're still walking through this forestry. We've cut from one path to another across some real boggy terrain and a little stream, both of which I lost my feet to, and I am glad to report I have dry feet. Good old Berghaus boots and cheap gaiters. They only cost me £9 from Sports Direct as well. Carramore. The stuff I've had of Carramore so far I rate. I went back and bought more of their hiking socks because they've been the most comfortable hiking socks I've worn. Yeah, good. I like them. They're done, isn't they? That's the wall there, isn't it?
So, through walking in circles in the woodland, we've come out on the south elevation as opposed to the west elevation. So now what we need to do is head this way, and this will lead us past this enclosure in the wall, and then as we come to the corner, then we should get to this area where there's sort of fewer trees. These two stone walls meet, and then we've got access to Cherry Brook. If we can find somewhere there to camp, that would be quite a tasty spot, considering I haven't bought water, but you have. Should we head down this way?
Let's go. Might be near a brook, but I don't think we're going to find a camping ground in this. So that's the trouble in the forestry itself. It's all sort of bumpy ground, twigs and stuff everywhere. You don't want that puncturing your tent ground sheet or your blow-up mattress.
You happy pitching up in here? That area out in there, get your tent in there?
Have a look, I suppose. Shame you can't make fires on Dartmoor. This would be an ideal place to have a go, wouldn't it? Bushcraft, not tried any yet, have we? Because you're always on Dartmoor.
Nesting.
So I'm going to go in this little spot here. Bit of a moss bed, be nice and spongy for sleeping on.
At least pushing the stakes in is easy. So, home for the night. You can see it's actually really quite a big space in here.
Well, it took two or three false starts, but I got me tent up in the end. It seems to fly up, so I'm definitely going to look to go down the tarp route eventually, when money permits. Last time we camped, we was up at Bleak House Ruin, and we couldn't get a peg into the ground. Here we got the opposite. It's real soft, it's like leaves and foliage. I think if I fart in there tonight, that tent's just going to collapse. So it'd be interesting to see if we can make it through the night.
I think I might have faced it slightly the wrong way. I don't think I paid enough attention to the direction of the wind. If I'd have rotated it another sort of 30 degrees clockwise, it would have got rid of the wind a bit coming in, but I'm going to be in my sleeping bag, I'm going to be tucked up in my bivvy bag, in my liner, under my tarp. I'll have my head down this end, so I don't think it's going to matter that much unless it decides it's going to blow the pegs out, but nothing's moved or twitched as yet. Trev stuck his nose in the door and sort of seen the space.
How's fun laying you?
Yeah, all good, Trev.
God, you've got loads of room in there as well. I can't believe how much room you had in. I didn't look in last time. Nice.
Well, last time it was because I was over a bank. There was less room in here.
Oh, you were sort of bunged up the front.
Yeah, this time it's brilliant.
Yeah, it's ideal, isn't it? Look at that.
You know, there's pros and cons with everything. You know, it weighs so much less, takes up so much less space. If it was, you know, if it was all positives, everyone would be doing it.
Two of you could use this one tarp piece of piss, couldn't you?
Yeah, and it's like I'm in there now, and because my bag's all wet, and I'm sort of setting out my bed and that, and it's like I'm all brushed up against my bag. There's not a lot of room in there.
No.
But yeah, just looking in here now, I feel quite jealous.
Yeah, well, I'm quite jealous of your ground sheet, so it swings and roundabouts.
Isn't it? Yeah.
There is no ground sheet. There's no mozzie mesh door or anything like that. You know, creepy crawlies can get at you in here. You have to bear that in mind. You know, you have to be prepared with the thought of waking up in the middle of the night with something crawling across your face. You know, it could just be a bloody woodlouse or something, you know, or it could be something a bit more unpleasant, but that's part of camping, I guess, isn't it? It's getting back to nature, being with all the creepies and the crawlies.
And how does the poles, because you ain't got like pegs in the top of the poles, have you? They just rest there, do they?
It's because it's all under tension.
Proper, isn't it? Here we go. It's a bit pokey, isn't it? Not quite as roomy as Nath's, is it? But quite a sag on here as well. I can't get anything really taut as I pull stuff. Pegs were pinging out, so here it goes. Well, we've got 4 hours before it gets dark. Camping. Well, I'm in here, Nathan's tent, we're having coffee. Schoolboy ever. Didn't wash my cup out. So we're just going to swill it
The camera ain't going to pick up what's in there. It's furry, man. It's a live, sort of living organism growing in the bottom of Trev's bag.
We're just going to boil some water and give it a rinse about.
Does that mean there's fungus in the bottom of your sack?
Again.
Chucking water on my roll now. Invited him in here out of the kindness of my heart, so we had space to sit in the dry and share a coffee and chat. And he's done nothing but just shit the place up. He was getting frustrated earlier about putting his tent up, linging sticks at me tarp and all sorts. He was.
On purpose.
I can imagine it was, yeah. Set your tarp up quick, get your tent pegs to stick in the ground.
No, I am very impressed with the DD Superlight Tarp. Maybe I'll enter a competition and try and win one.
Just to rub salt in the wound. I got to admit, I'm a little bit sort of green with envy about his nice new free boots that he won for putting the letter in. Hell of a nice looking boots. They got that real thick rubber seam that runs around above the tread where it joins onto the leather. My Scarpers don't seem to have that, and it looks like it's going to be a real durable sort of seal between the tread and the boot itself. So yeah, wonderful.
Well, I'm in my tent now, in out of the rain, but I've sort of dragged a lot of wet clothes and things in here and a wet bag and wet boots. There seems to be a lot of water in this tent now. I'm sleeping this side, got my bag over here, down the bottom, there's my boots and that. It is a small tent. It's a lot colder than it was last time, it feels colder. My hands are absolutely freezing, look at that. My finger's white. That one. Bought myself a book to read. At some point soon I'll be cooking some tea. Got a boil in the bag. And then we're about 2 kilometres away from the car, so in the morning we'll pack up everything in the rain. So not too long a slog back to the car. Anyway, this is me in the tent now. So just have to see how it goes, I suppose.
It's a bit rust and flustered today.
No, my light is not. But I'm lucky. Oh, sake. I've got that loaded up with a boil in the bag inside. Forgot to read how long. I think it's about 12 minutes, isn't it? I am quite literally boiling it in a bag. Steaming up in here. It's like a sauna in here. Got the 2 jet pools going.
I ain't cold all of a sudden.
No. Nate's gone for a dry mix bag today.
Keeping weight down as always tonight. You carry 2 litres of water around with you all day, innit?
Yeah.
I mean, I've probably saved 2.5 kilos on you straight out the gate tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a real pleasurable experience going and filling my water up from the stream, which was shit. Again, like the tarp and the tent, fors and against in there.
Pause and body cords.
I didn't take out the air absorber.
Oh, mate.
It's like a flavour pouch in a pot noodle, isn't it?
It's got to be in it. It's not contaminant at all.
It's in a sealed packet, isn't it? But surely they must know that's going to happen.
There's mine. I boiled it in the bag. Oh, heat for 7 to 8 minutes. I went for 16. Burnt it. Gonna eat. How's yours, Nath?
Proper Ansel and Gretel, that is, son.
Well, we'll enjoy this, and you guys can watch whatever's coming up next. Here it is now. Well, I'm in now for the night. I have just lied down and realised I need a piss. So I'm in my sleeping bag, waiting to warm up. My feet have got freezing cold over there when I sat out with Nath. But I'll just take my mind off it. I'm going to just read a bit of book. It's the sort of thing I do when I'm sitting in a confined space in the middle of Dartmoor on an Easter holiday weekend. So I've got the Vango sleeping bag again. It's a great sleeping bag. Last time I was warm, but what I have noticed is that the zip is very close to the material. When you do it up, it catches quite a lot. It didn't then, but apart from that, so far so good. It's nice, warm. Plus I've got 2 liners in here as well. I know, overkill, right? I've always been someone who feels the cold. I've always hated camping, so the fact that I'm out here doing this, out of season, still surprises me to this day. You only live once, don't you?
So I'm just kind of sat here in the tarp, curled up in my sleeping bag. Hell of a cosy. Got my long johns on inside me Mountain Hardware Lamina 20 sleeping bag. Lovely and toasty. Got another hour of light left. Oh no, I'll just check the weather app, see if there is a break in this rain at all. No break in the rain. And I did suddenly clock that there's a weather warning issued for today and tomorrow.
Well, Nathan's just given us some good news. Yep, looks like we've chosen another fucking great night to come out wild camping.
Apparently, we are forecast from 8 o'clock this evening through till 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Winds in excess of 40 mile an hour.
I'm a bit worried again. Last time I had hardly any peg coverage into the earth. This time there's no actual earth, but they're just being held by ancient leaves. So yeah, a bit of wind and this thing could just collapse, so...
This is the first day of April, yeah? We last camped on like the last day, or last 2 days of December. So 3 months have elapsed since we last camped. And temperature, precipitation and wind are almost exactly the same. It is like an identical weather forecast. I mean, hopefully we're in a more sheltered spot than we were last time. Maybe we get a tree blow over on us. Who knows?
So I'm just... waited. Wondering what I'm doing here. Roll on summer. It's gone dark now. It's 8:30. Hasn't got any warmer, but what has happened is my Sony Handycam has died. I don't mean the battery's run out, but it's just ceased to be. It's been 8 years I've had that camcorder, so I'm one camera down. Why am I here? A piece of nylon between me and the elements. How you doing over there, Nath?
Oh, loving life, mate.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Would you say this has been the your best camping so far?
If I think back to the times that you and me have been camping together, we got great miss.
Aye.
We were both in a tent. Moby was there, I was fighting, he was fighting.
Yeah.
We got Wishman's Wood.
This time last year.
Yeah, it rained and I was under a shitty small tarp.
Yeah.
Then, what was it? West Oakman?
Yeah, I think it was West Oakman, wasn't it?
Or something like that. Anyway, I had to walk through the middle of the night to the car, drive through the middle of the night back to the campsite, and then sleep in the car.
Yeah.
Not a great camping experience. Then we got our last one over Christmas, which, let's face it, was horrendous. And then we got this one. So, I gotta be honest, mate, splitting hairs, really.
Look what I've got. After dark on Dartmoor. Well, it is after dark. I am on Dartmoor. Festering in my own stench. I stink. Where have we been today? We've been to Bellevator. Let me read you a tale associated with Bellevator. A beautiful girl once lived in a farmhouse near Huckleberry Bridge. She had many admirers, but the one she favoured most was a lad called Tom White of Postbridge. He was so much in love with her that he thought nothing of walking 5 miles between them after work every night, just to continue their courtship. But one night he stayed with her longer than he should have, and on his way home it was after midnight by the time he reached Bellevator. He was startled to hear the sounds of singing and laughter from among the rocks of the Tor. He found himself standing in full view of a large crowd of pixies who were dancing merrily. Before he could hide, they grabbed and pulled him over onto a level patch of grass. Here they formed a circle around him and began dancing with ever-increasing speed. Tom found himself forced to whirl and caper around in time with the pixie music, totally unable to stop. It was not until sunrise that the dance ended. The pixies vanished among the boulders and Tom was left stretched and exhausted on the turf. The tale has a sad sequel. Tom was so frightened by his night's adventure that he determined never to risk another encounter with the little folk. And so he did not visit the girl ever again. Sounds like a poor excuse to me. Sounds like he stayed there late one night with this girl, you know, trying to get his end wet. She's like, no, he's probably gone somewhere else on the way home. Tried it with a friend or something. So he's late back to his mum's. His mum's like, where have you been? He's like, oh, pixies. Pixies had me. Scared the crap out of me.
Dancing like they was, Mark.
Yeah. Then she goes, are you going back to see that girl? Nah. Scared of the pixies now, Mum. I ain't walking there. Not with pixies about. So you hear a lot about pixies. I wonder if we'll get to see one. Someone claims they heard pixies laughing on our last camping video, Nath.
Did they?
Yeah. Maybe they'll hear it again here.
Yeah. Might be a pleasant change from the sound of rain hitting a tarp. Right, basically, we've got 2 issues tonight, YouTube. One is, you might very well enjoy him, but Trev and his Dartmoor legends. 2, the noise of rain hitting this tarp is doing my head in. So, what I'm trying to do is fashion some sort of earplug out of tissue paper, just to dumb the noise down just a little bit. God, I love peace and quiet. Just going to try and roll it up into a little ball and try and just... I think it's had absolutely no effect at all.
So what you been doing over there for the last couple of hours then, Nath?
Rolling from my right side over onto my back, and then from my back over onto my left side, then back over onto my back again to my right side, and then back to my back and over to the left.
Yeah. I've been with my eyes closed, visualising that the pitter-patter of the rain is actually crackling logs in the fire, and I'm sat next to it, feeling the heat. This will help me through this night.
Trev?
Yeah.
I need the wee again.
Good luck with that.
Cheers, mate.
Past 11. And then again, I feel the water coming in. Let's see if we can get some proper sleep through till morning. So I just want to get out of here now.
So basically, my roll mat's like a pontoon, floating in the lake, just a puddle. My feet are wet, soaked from the bivvy bag. only 1 o'clock in the morning. I haven't had that much sleep. Quite happily go home now. Pretty much off with the whole adventure. But can't go home because it's pitch black out there. And got like another 4 hours, 4.5 hours at least until some sort of light. Just check the weather, they don't really give the rain letting up through the night at all, so it's only going to get worse. So this little puddle is probably going to become a big puddle. This is why you don't go camping when they put these extreme weather warnings out. This is why it doesn't matter if you're running out of videos for your YouTube channel or not. You just fucking suck it up and you wait until there's better weather, more appropriate for camping. So this is shit, basically, in a nutshell.
O'clock in the morning. The first flicker of light is creeping into the tent. That was a horrendous night. I don't know how Nath got on. I haven't heard anything peep from him yet. Hopefully he's still there. He hasn't been pixie-led.
It's 6:30 in the morning, and it has been probably the second most unpleasant night I've ever spent camping in my entire life. My feet are soaked, my sleeping bag has absorbed a lot of water, and I'm kind of marooned on a little roll mat island in the middle of a puddle underneath my tarp. Didn't get a lot of sleep, maybe 4.5 hours max. Even then it wasn't proper sleep as you'd want it to be. You know, the 40-mile-an-hour winds as promised did not fail to deliver. My sleeping bag sort of started to lose thermal efficiency at about 2-3 o'clock in the morning, and I've been struggling to keep the heat in, and I was just constantly repositioning in the night. I haven't been able to stretch my legs out for about 4 hours, so yeah, it's been an interesting night.
So I'm just looking at View Ranger, trying to work our way back. We're going to start going, heading packing up in a minute, and then we're just going to run for it, I think. We're not even going to bother with a coffee here. Nath has had an horrendous night. We've got to tidy this ramshackle shithole up. I hate putting sleeping bags back into the bag. I've got to wrap up a wet tent. That's going to in turn make my fingers freezing cold. So yeah, it's been a nice experience camping. Looking forward to it being over. I hope you lot enjoy this. Right, sleeping bag. This hasn't gone right already. Oh, lovely wet socks inside dance boot. Oh, getting there. I've warmed up just trying to pack this sleeping bag. I am sweating. Done it.
It's not a puddle here, it's bone dry.
Where I was?
Yeah. Look at it. That there was twice as big. Half of it is in my bag, in my sleeping bag. And then look at that up there, ready to burst its bank and trickle down there right into me. Hell of a gush on me.
Well, here we are, packed up, ready to get home. It was a horrendous night, wasn't it?
Yeah.
He had a worse night than me, so for that I'm grateful.
I always seem to have the worst night. Do you think it's linked to sleeping in a tarp?
Good bacon it. Ready to move, isn't we, mate?
Yeah.
See how long this takes us.
Shouldn't be long.
Morning.
Morning.
Fancy going for a hike and wild camp on Dartmoor this weekend, Nath?
No, not really.
I think he's had it now, for hiking and wild camping.
It's not the hiking or the wild camping. I love hiking and I love wild camping. What I don't like is the weather. Oh my god! Every time it's raining. Oh.
We have one weekend where we can both make, and we're tied to it, you know? It'd be better if we were more free, wouldn't it? I'm just like, alright, it's looking good this weekend, let's go this weekend.
But life gets in the way, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Still, when we're getting paid to do it professionally,
Yeah, hurry up. Pay us.
we can do it whenever we want. It's like, oh, it's work. I've got to go, sweetheart, it's work.
Yeah. You wouldn't care getting a bit wet through the night if you're just getting paid danger money for it, would you?
No, that's it. Be laughing about it. Even then, you might be able to choose to go to another country where the weather's better. It's like we'll film the hiking scenes in the UK and we'll film the camping scenes in the south of Spain.
It's a good idea. Well, I just want to go home now, Nath, so
I do, mate.
let's just say goodbye to everyone.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching. You've been watching Summit or Nothing. We have been camping on Dartmoor. I am Trev, here's Nath.
Yes, I'm Nathan, he's Trevor. We did the camping thing.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share.
Out of us.
Yeah.
Do you want to do that again where I don't say every 5 seconds?
That's fine. It just shows how we feel about it.
Frustration.
So, arrivederci. Good night.
See you later.